And welcome back to White Claw Wednesday, episode number 92. Ryan and I are here on a
92.
Wednesday afternoon, cracking open a couple claws.
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon, which is super unlike us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but we got schedule stuff. So like this is what.
Cheers up, brother.
Cheers.
Ooh.
I actually recently brushed my teeth, so I don't know. It's not really.
Nothing
really
like
working
a
for
nice
me.
White Claw
Yeah.
to wash down the peppermint, huh?
Exactly.
I was going to say, nothing like a surge in the afternoon, huh? Man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're drinking the surge. You're really.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait till I finish this pack. Honestly, I'm probably not going to finish this whole thing. Nice hat, dude. Loving the hat look.
Thank you.
I've been through many phases in my life where I've tried to pull off hats, and there's only really been one successful time, and that was between like 6th grade and 7th grade. I think was like my prime
and
hat
8th grade.
days.
I think all middle school. I would say.
All of middle school.
Because I still remember. I remember seeing you as a 7th grader. You were an 8th grader. I remember you were still doing the hat look with the curls coming out of the hat.
The curls coming out of the hat, the flat bill. I was even rocking it backwards some days. Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly,
I was very jealous of
one
that
of my
whole
prime
look.
moments in life.
That whole look of the curl coming out of on the edges. You had like it was almost like a bowl cut, but instead of like it being cut with a bowl, it was like your hair curled around a bowl in a way.
Yeah. Well, my hair was so curly that I wore so many hats. Like I would wear hats pretty much every day or every other day, and I'd have it to where basically the tips of my head knew like this is all we got. It's almost like how tree roots like find a way like around a corner. That's what I imagine like my curls. They're like, okay, we're all plastered here. We got this little tip and just curls up.
Yeah. And then I remember you definitely had some fox hats, right? So
yeah, dude. I was big into Fox, Independent.
Tap out.
Tap out. Yeah, dude. That was like my wannabe emo phase, even though I wasn't emo at all.
Yeah. It was just what was kind of popping at the time.
It was just the style. It was and middle school is a weird time because you're starting to actually have say in your life as far as like what you want to wear, what you want to do. Like, I remember that was sort of the time where I started to like really pick soccer in my life was like middle school. And it was like my parents, gave me like, oh, like, what do you want to do? That's actually also around the time that I quit dancing and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same for a lot of people out there. I mean, obviously people parent different, but at least in middle school, you start building like who you are. And I think,
it's
for
funny.
me, it was like an overcorrection,
Overcorrection. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Same here because I remember having to like leave swimming in the past. I was like, I don't want to swim anymore.
Oh, that's right. You were CBU, Lancer,
CBU,
huh?
Yeah. And then that was when I
sucked.
started, pretty much around the time like 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade. Like that was like around the time that I started getting coached by someone other than my mom in basketball, which was a big, which was kind of like a big turning point, because like when your parent is your coach, your view of yourself as a player. I'm sorry, I'm about to basically just. You're just your view.
Your mom right now.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. Well, no, I'm just talking. No, but that was the thing. Like the way my mom coached me was perfect because she, like you said, she coached me up until that point to where it's like, okay, you kind of start like making your own decisions. Like once you get past the age of 10, 11, 12, you're getting in almost about the teens.
Yeah.
That's the time when you like start making your own decisions in little things that like it's okay for you to make your decisions in. You know what I'm saying? Like what you want to do. And that was like the perfect time for her to stop coaching me because it was kind of like a cool experience to now like be like working with someone I don't know and have them be like actually become a coach figure, because it's kind of hard. I mean, it was hard for me to really look at my mom as a coach, and I feel like that may have affected, my ability as a player in a way. So I feel like it's like a good thing to like, break out of that shell. And I still remember my very first coach in NJB, and like he was a huge help for my game, and then also Coach Hooks too. So like I shouldn't be reminiscing on my basketball career right now, but you're right. It's like when you get to that point in your life, you start making your own decisions and all the things that have to do with you as a individual.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying because growing up in the dance studio, it was like I was a part of the family that owned the dance studio, and many times my mom and dad would teach me. And you're right, it is a little bit different. I mean, I can't really remember too much from that time, but I obviously enjoyed being coached by other people, and maybe it was just the sport. I can't really, remember. I wish we had memories that were just like so ingrained that we could go back and relive them exactly how they were.
There's
like, why did I make the decision? Oh, really? Is there a Black Mirror episode like that?
Yeah, there's a Black Mirror episode where they can just go into their, like, our brain works like a computer in this episode, in the sense of where
it's like you can interface with
it. Yeah. So where everything,
that's cool.
like everything you're living is being recorded. So you can just like scroll through all these years and dates and just like
never mind.
Relive stuff. It's not a good move, right? It's not like trust me, the episode is like really depressing as they all are.
Yeah.
And you see like what it does to them and like how it takes away all the, specialness of the here and now moment. It completely removes all that.
Yes.
It's like that's a bad idea. You don't want that.
I'm just imagining. I feel like as humans we would sort of sulk on these like moments in your life where you think is like a pivotal point where you're like, wow, that was really embarrassing, or I messed up. I learned from that. But like if I was able to go back and relive that, I totally would, because I'm an idiot and I would want to do that,
Yeah, but imagine like you're reliving it. Oh, this is the way it worked in the episode. In the episode, it's like your POV. So you're not getting to do like an eye in the sky, like, oh, let's enjoy the show. You're actually like, reliving it in a sense,
But you can't control the memory, of course.
Well, right? I mean, you can pick the memory, and then, but once it happens, the memory is the memory. Yeah, you can't change like what the memory is.
That's scary, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you speaking of kind of like I don't know, interfacing and all that stuff? Did you hear that there was a successful gene mutation or manipulation, not mutation, with CRISPR, that they basically healed mice of like certain diseases?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So basically,
with genetic, like using like other species DNA to save the mice. Is that what you're saying?
No. They literally. Well, I mean, the way that it works, and I'm not an expert. This is just what I read basically on my phone. But basically, the way it works is like you can, certain diseases have certain DNA to them, right? It's like with what is it? What's the word? I'm trying to think of the proper word. I don't want to use a word that's incorrect.
Start with an incorrect word and then see if you can correct it.
I can't.
Okay.
I'll go on to something different. Basically, the way it works is like, you have a disease, and that disease has a specific DNA in your DNA, right? Or like there's a DNA associated with this disease.
Okay.
And so what they do is they just correct those DNA strands, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
So like kids with Down
doing
syndrome,
like a more extreme surgery in a sense. Like instead of like realigning your bone, they're like realigning your DNA.
Yeah,
kind of like that's when Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man gets bit, and like you see on the TV screen, like you see his DNA change. You see all the
perfect example.
Spider DNA come in. Yeah.
So the hope is, for example, like children with Down syndrome, you'd basically be able to predict that the embryo has this genetic mutation and go in and edit that mutation before the baby is born.
Yeah, so it become like part of like the screening, when they do the wand thing and they see the image, like you could like early tests could like tell you whether that's going to be an issue, and then they could go in there.
Yeah. Damn. I think in the future it will be like that. The
really
problem is what people are scared about, and the reason why a lot of governments are sort of banning it is because
Yeah.
they don't want it to be like a social class thing where only like, you know, the rich of the rich get to access this technology and therefore, you know, cementing themselves as their lineage, you know, for the future, right?
Yeah, the money thing is, okay.
That's the only thing that is sort of the problem. And usually things like this, that's how it works, you know? Like, it's going to cost a lot of money because it's a new technology. And until it's used a lot by wealthy people and, you know, companies get better at it and quicker at it, the price is going to go down. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I obviously don't want that, but I also do want it out there in society, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, it seems like something that would be it'd be cool if it just became, you know, a routine thing, you know, like
that should be a Black Mirror episode.
Like it could be altering, because, you know, what I mean, obviously I jumped to you know, the extreme in science fiction when it comes to real life sometimes, and imagining, you know, like imagine if they start like overcorrecting, you know,
like they basically just create like a superhuman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You knew where I was going with that.
Oh yeah. That's the Black Mirror episode, right?
Yeah,
there,
exactly. Dude. That's the Black Mirror episode.
Imagine a world where, you know how like right now the big conversation is like, should, you know, people who transition be able to be in sports?
Yeah.
Imagine a world in the far future where people are banned if they have had their DNA mutated or changed, right?
Damn. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On purpose. Yeah.
Like it's something that goes on your birth certificate or something.
It's like
the rich, like exactly. Like it turns into like, of course they use it for money. They turn it for profit, and instead of becoming something that, you know, saves everybody, like is good for everybody, good for the whole world, like an amazing technology that could be used for the whole world. Instead of that, it becomes, oh, can you pay enough to make your kid better than the average kid in class, basically?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know how. Yeah. I mean, everything's built out of DNA, right? So, like, you could potentially make your kid smarter. You could potentially make your kid bigger.
Yeah.
Stronger, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a scary, scary future.
Could you make them like taller, or?
Oh yeah.
Shorter?
Oh yeah.
Or, damn. Yeah.
I mean, not at the moment.
Yeah,
but
not
like
at the moment.
In the future,
but in theory,
the technology will get there for sure if, you know, it continues to be developed.
Yeah, I mean, if this is already, if we're doing this with, what'd you say, mice?
Mice, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to mice, all the mice in the world that we've been using as guinea pigs for centuries.
You know, rats too, mice and rats. I know it's
it's
probably been pretty equal both. But yeah, definitely shouts out to all the guinea pigs. Couldn't have done it without you.
Oh man, dude. So, you know how we had that episode about the Gabby Petito case?
Yeah.
Bro, they still haven't found her fiance.
Really? I thought they had.
Oh, have they? I haven't heard anything.
I mean, I don't know for sure. That's the other thing. I don't know for sure.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, look it up right now. And while you look it up, I'm going to give
it.
everybody an update and just give everybody like a little 2 cents to think about. So Kyrie Irving is not going to be able to play with the Brooklyn Nets this season because he isn't getting the vaccine. And he wouldn't be allowed to practice in the New York facility, their practice facility. He wouldn't be allowed to play at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and because of the COVID mandate for both those buildings. And that would mean that he could only play in road games, and the president of the team, announced today or yesterday, can't remember, that Kyrie Irving will not be partially participating. So pretty much he said, if he's not getting the vaccine, we're not going to have him play half the games. He's not going to play and be part of the team at all. But if he gets the vaccine, you know, obviously we're welcoming him with open arms. So this is a very interesting topic because he is...
Kyrie, stop being dumb.
Well, Kyrie Irving is apparently, he's trying to be a voice for the individuals who are losing their jobs to vaccine mandates. But the interesting thing is...
I get it. I get it.
I mean, I get that. But then there's also all the people that are dying because they don't have the vaccine. and they aren't as rich as you, Kyrie, and aren't as, protected in your giant mansion with, good social distancing.
Right.
You live on acres of property. But, all I can say is Kyrie Irving's a great basketball player, and, obviously everybody's got a choice in life, but I would just love to see him continue to play. Like, it's one of those things where, like, as much as I disagree with his stance on this whole thing, I just love to watch the guy play, so I'd love to see him back. But, yeah, that's just a little update on sports. Ryan, what'd you find out about the missing boyfriend?
He is still missing.
Okay.
And the coroner said the cause of death was strangulation. So kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy the guy hasn't been found yet. I mean, where the heck is he? He must be in, like, Puerto Rico or something. I mean, he's out.
Yeah. That raises the question: how hard is it to run? Like when the bank robbers robbed the bank and they're like, we're headed to Mexico. What?
Yeah.
What? It's like, I mean, obviously I never want to be on the run, but it's just one of those things where movies can never truly convey the whole being on the run thing because it's movies and TV. But it's one of those things where, like, I just find it. Is it as hard as you think? Is it easier than you think? Like,
it's got to be hard.
Yeah,
it's got to
right?
be really hard, man. I can't even imagine. I mean, you got to be off grid.
Yeah, because most
cash only.
Yeah, most things like you need are in areas that are just surrounded by people.
And your face is everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
People know. A lot of people know what you look like, so, and you can't alter your face that easy, right?
No.
I mean, you need, like, surgery and stuff.
Isn't he bald?
Oh, that's also something that's hindering him, right?
Yeah.
So,
he
can't, grow his hair out.
Yeah, exactly. He can't grow. Yeah. Yeah, and then that pretty much. Oh, I get wig. That's what he could do. Wig. He could do wig. He could do a wig.
He could do a wig. That's true. Yeah, man, I can't wait till they come out with a documentary for this. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's alive, and he's been bouncing around the country, or maybe he's in Mexico or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, it'd be nice. Be a good documentary.
You get some interviews with him, either in person or over the phone from prison, depending how this goes. But yeah, that would definitely be a Tiger King level, number one in the U.S. type of deal. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially if they came out with it soon.
And
dude,
depending
do we
on
know what's happening? The Tiger King?
Oh, fuck no.
He's in jail, right?
He's in jail still. Carol Baskin competed on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, what the hell was that, man?
That was weird. Like, I actually watched a couple.
So
I watched a couple of her dances because my mom fan of the show, so watched it with her a couple times. And Carol Baskin, not a great dancer.
Yeah, she doesn't have the hips to move, man.
She didn't really have the hips to move. She didn't really have the athletic ability for dancing. But Dancing with the Stars is one of those shows where those professional dancers that they're with are so damn good that, like,
they just make you look great.
I mean, not even make you look great, but you're gonna get through the dance. Like, you're gonna perform a technical dance, like, from start to finish, and like whether it looks like a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, like, you'll be amazed, like, the people they could get to complete a dance. And Carol Baskin is a great example because she's moving as stiff as a rock out there, and she's still technically doing the dance because her partner's just, backpacking his way through it.
I wonder if Dancing with the Stars is still doing well, though, because it makes me think. I haven't watched it in years.
Oh, yeah.
But it makes me think that they're not doing well if they're picking up people like Carol Baskin.
Right. I'm getting the opposite.
Maybe that's what
I'm getting the
want.
opposite vibes. I'm getting the opposite vibes.
Yeah.
Because Tiger King was so big, I think that the wide range of audiences enjoyed it. We watched it. My parents watched it. A lot of people watched it. So there's plenty of people out there who love Tiger King who are also big Dancing with the Stars. And I think Dancing with the Stars is one of those shows that it just has its audience locked in, and it's going to be a long time before it isn't viable anymore,
The only thing that I would say is, like, it's a risky. Like, she could be a murderer. She could have killed her
she could have killed
husband.
someone. Yeah.
which was just kind of crazy. But I guess, I don't know, maybe it was the documentary that I was pushing it one way.
Yeah, the documentary makes you feel one way. And also, she's kind of like the kind of murderer, if she is a murderer, she's the kind where it's sort of niche, you know? Like
it's the one-hit wonder.
Yeah, it's like it's like I'm not worried about like if I went over and like had a like a glass of tea. I feel like I could sit down and have tea with Carol Baskin.
You're right.
I would feel totally comfortable if I was just a nice person who enjoyed her company and drank the tea with her and then said goodbye. Like I would feel in no danger ever. It was just a situation where some people are so passionate about certain areas, like her with, you know, exotic animals, that it can push them to potentially, like we said, nothing is true, or I mean nothing has been proven, but you could see like, okay, this is a very special 1 in a million moment where she had someone potentially like her husband who she might have murdered, who was, you know, butting heads with her in her most passionate.
I mean, he wasn't the best guy for sure.
No, he wasn't the best guy, but she had an obstacle in a sense. Well, this is the way the documentary presents it, that she had this obstacle in her husband who was keeping her from truly doing what she wanted with the exotic animals and her, you know, exotic animal company. So it's like she has something that she's so insanely passionate about, and it's something as weird and niche as exotic animals that's going to lead to maybe murder. So like I said, Carol, if you want to have tea, we can pick each other's brains and
pick each other's brains on what?
Just like you can she can be honest with me, she can be honest with me. Like I might be so nice that like she puts her trust in me and then she tells me the truth, and then it's just on me to decide, like, do I give the truth to the world? And then there's more pressure on me. She might just put the pressure on me. That's the thing.
She might do it to fuck with you, you know?
Exactly.
Because, like, if that happened, you know, and you come out and say you know the truth, I don't know if anyone would believe you anyways, you know?
Exactly. I don't know if any. I would need photographic evidence of the fact that we sat down and had one-on-one tea together. Does she seem more like a tea drinker to you than coffee? Because that's the vibe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She's definitely a tea drinker.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to become a tea drinker.
Sam's a tea drinker. I mean, Scott, Sam, and I, none of us are coffee drinkers, but I mean, Sam does have tea in the morning.
Tea is good. Dude, have you seen the new, I'm sure you've gotten these ads. You must have gotten these ads.
Yeah.
The Mudwater stuff.
No, I have Mudwater. That sounds terrible.
Well,
why would anybody advertise that? Like, what are they doing?
That is a good point. But it's this, like, super, dude, you got to look up these ads, man. It's this guy who apparently, like, did some studying in India or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have something there. It's not quite coffee. It's like this, it's this mixture of these herbs and mushrooms, like all those good mushrooms out there for you. And it looks like mud. Like, it looks like you dripped mud in your water and just, like, stirred it up and heated it up, you know?
Ooh, yikes. Uh-huh.
So, anyways, what does any, you know, white guy who learns a little bit about a culture do is
he just takes it and runs with
off of it.
Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, he's got this company called Mudwater, and he does a lot of the ads and stuff, and that's why I know so much about him. But anyways, I mean, the company's got this really sleek design. It's like Mudwater, and I don't know, it looks good, dude. It looks good.
Mudwater. That's funny because it makes me think of I used to do, like, when I was a kid, there's photos of me. I feel like almost everybody did this, but like when you would play in like wet dirt that would turn into mud, and you would just like start like making like mud pies and stuff, and just start, you know, just rolling in the mud like a pig, basically.
Yep.
That's what I think of, because like it was always liquidy, muddy, because you could form it and stuff. And as a kid, sometimes you would even like, you know, like, let me see what this tastes like. No, that doesn't taste good. And so that's kind of like what I immediately jump to. So it doesn't seem that, you know, doesn't really want to make my thirst buds want to just, you know, drink it down. But maybe if
you gotta watch these commercials.
If I see the commercials, it could change everything. You know,
it's almost like it's like, I think the word is juxtaposition, and like they're they're like honing in on like the juxtaposition of like what Mudwater would be. You know, it's like no one wants to drink Mudwater, but
no,
they're surrounding their company around this name, and it almost like it like catches your eye because you're like, why would they do that? You know?
Kind of like
You know?
I see a similar advertising ploy with the Mudwater, and then I'm assuming you've seen the cans of Liquid Death. Have you seen those cans?
I haven't.
Oh,
no.
dude, okay. Well, they're really big in the podcast game. Like I see like a lot of like just like internet talk shows like what we're doing right now.
They've just got the Liquid Death.
They just have like the Liquid Death,
right
cans on their desks and stuff, and it's pretty much it's canned water that is sold in two versions, the white can and the black can. I can't remember which one goes with which, but one of them is just, regular water, and then the other one is, sparkling water. And they have some...
Really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all the company is. It's just two...
Wow.
And it's like... Or at least this is what I found in my research, and I've seen from advertising on trucks and on the shows and stuff. It's always like a white or a black can. And they have some description like of the water. Like it's some like mountain water. Like it comes from some special, delicious, awesome, clean place.
It all does, right?
It all does. But it has some like cool way of like, it almost feels like if you took like Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, and you took, you just took the hobbits pretty much, or just the dwarves or any other races in Middle Earth, and you fast forwarded them to modern times. Like you just threw modern times on them. And I feel like their canned water would be like this Liquid Death because it has this really cool kind of shield emblem with like a dragon and this really cool gold, white, and black design. And
dude, it's all about the marketing, man.
And the way they describe it, like how it's canned, it like sounds like a dwarf like broke into like a mountain with like a pickaxe and then like water started pouring out of the mountain and like the dwarf filled the can up. That's just but I get the same kind of thing because when I first read Liquid Death, I immediately thought, okay, this is some sort of alcohol company. Like when I first saw it, I was like, this looks like
some crazy energy drink.
Yeah, like this is like a beer or an energy drink that has like way too much alcohol or way too much caffeine for the normal person, or both. So it's so I was very surprised to be like, oh, it's water, and that kind of I see the same thing with the Mudwater, and that you hear it and you don't think of like it's so opposite of what you're supposed to be feeling that it kind of
like makes you interested.
Yeah, it pulls you in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, like, there must be, I wish I knew more about, like, company marketing and stuff, but there must be a word for that, It must be like a marketing strategy.
Like you go so far one way that everybody ends up on the other way.
It makes absolutely no sense that when the consumer actually learns, like, what the product is, they're interested.
Exactly. Yeah, because the way you're giving it to them is the opposite, pretty much.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of word out there.
In a way, is it kind of like reverse psychology?
Yeah. It is definitely.
It kind of is. I mean,
I think the initial hit is reverse psychology.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. There's definitely a marketing name for it, though. I bet.
Dude, have you heard about the strike going on at Southwest?
Southwest Airlines.
Southwest Airlines.
No,
man.
I haven't. I didn't know there's interesting.
Well, I have a wedding in 2 days, and I have Southwest tickets for tomorrow.
Ooh.
And I guess the employees are on strike.
Ooh.
So I don't know. They haven't canceled my flight yet.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't.
Where are you going? Where's the wedding?
It's in the Bay.
Okay.
Justin and Kayla's, yeah.
So
it's gonna be a blast.
Oh yeah, definitely. But worst case scenario, are you able to drive there in time or no?
I mean, worst case scenario, we'll just buy a different flight.
Okay.
For like $300 or more. But
gotcha.
What can you do?
What can you do?
But yeah, man. I guess, dude, it's kind of crazy how COVID has literally affected everything. Everything,
dude.
Everything in our lives have been affected. And I'm not here complaining.
Oh no. It's just one of those things where it's like it was a global pandemic. They put those two words together. The definitions of both those words imply that literally everything on Earth will be affected.
Yeah. It almost like, do you think, let me just play devil's advocate here, and we can close on this, but do you think that like if the CDC knew this was going around and they just didn't say anything. They just didn't say anything. They were like, it's just a sickness, whatever. Don't worry about it. It's not going to, affect that many people. And like basically played it down such that people didn't change
anything,
what they did at all.
Yeah.
Do you think there would be less damage than there has been, I feel like people, because of all the restrictions and stuff, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, it has like negatively affected a lot more than if we just bit the bullet and we're like, F it,
Yeah.
Disregard death. Disregard death. Disregard death.
Disregarding the death that has happened because of COVID?
If you disregard death in both the reality and that alternate scenario.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay. Well, then, yeah, I mean, it would have been fine. But
I mean, people would still get sick.
People would still, but it's the...
And they would still die.
It's the...
don't let the death number affect you, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, if I ignore the death, then, yeah, it's fine. But as soon as the death comes into play, it's immediately like, no. Because
okay. I guess it's kind of a dumb scenario.
Well, no, but it just goes to show you, like, the seriousness of what happened and what is still happening.
Yeah,
and it's because, like, it's bad, or it was bad, still bad, however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with us trying to take every precaution.
Right.
Right. And the government, as some may not agree, telling the truth or lying to us, or however, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, the way the government CDC has handled it and been open and called it what it is, global pandemic, has to have lessened the damage. Because if the damage is already great enough to lead to like them being honest with us, then that must mean that if they weren't honest with us, then the damage would have been even worse.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
And you and me would have done stuff.
I like how you said that.
You and me would have ended up doing stuff that would have gotten us sick and other people sick. And like, because think about all the people who were able to avoid getting sick because they were told what was going on by the CDC and the government. All those people, had it just been like, fuck it, ignore it, don't tell them anything, just let them just keep living normal. Like probably like 90% plus of those people who were able to avoid it because they were told the truth would have gotten sick, and then they would have passed it on, and it would have been ugly. Like
it would have gotten, I think, out of hand.
Yeah.
Like I think like in terms of the sickness, obviously it would have been way worse, right? But in terms of like supply chains and economy and all these things, like I don't know, but I think that we would still be doing well.
Yeah, you just
up
mean
until
like
the point where it's like the sickness has just taken over, You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
sometimes it's fun to think about.
If people had no idea and nobody knew anything, like then, yeah, business would have been still booming.
Business, bro.
Yeah, still would have been even if like people were dying at a more rapid rate, business would have still been happening because this goes back to the whole Kyrie Irving thing. Like Kyrie, like you don't have to get the vaccine, but here's the thing, man. The NBA is going to go on without you, Like,
is it the entire NBA that's requiring it, or is it just
no? It's just different cities have different rules, and he happens to be playing in Brooklyn, where it's like they have a building mandate where you have to have at least one dose of the vaccine to come in this building, ever.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those things, Life is going to go on until it doesn't. And on that note. This is episode 92. Thanks for listening.
I feel like I should name the episode that.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. All right. Cheers, Ryan.
All right. Cheers up, buddy.
Peace out, everybody.
Love y'all. Peace.